and welcome back to Big Apple Hockey for another episode, 2 nights in a row. Wow, who would have thought that? Of the Final Buzzer. Your host, yours truly, John Funkowski. Government name, but I have to go by folk. You know me as that crazy dude that likes to rant about this team. Follow me on Twitter at 92 and 82, as you can see in the little name thing below, and then on the ticker below as well. So definitely tune into that for the stark mad ravings of a lunatic Ranger fan like myself. But yeah, I have a little more energy in me tonight. I had to watch the game and so I could do this, but I also had a friend call me, so it kind of took me a little longer tonight. So, but yes, so it's time for another episode of the Final Buzzer, and I see you all in the chats: Davey, Steven, Core. Yes, good, bad, and ugly time. Mackenzie, Matt. Thank you all for joining, but yeah, we'll get on with the usual. So yeah, it's that time again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I definitely I didn't think this game was that bad. I really thought that they actually I don't like certain they didn't play full 60, but I think that they played at least 40 minutes of good enough hockey to the point where they should have won. And if it wasn't for Georgiev's terrible play, we'll get to that in a bit. I think they would have won this game and without having to go to overtime. So, hey, Dan, I see Dan as well as Matt. Davey, I haven't seen Davey in a bit. So, but yeah, Mackenzie, we will talk about this in a little bit. Steven, yeah, he is a madman, Chris Kreider. So, but first things first, we'll talk about Chris Kreider. The countdown to 50 goes to stop number 46. So Chris Kreider is climbing the ranks in terms of highest goal scoring seasons by a New York Ranger, and I love what I'm seeing. He finds another way, and yeah, sure, it was a lucky bounce off of Moritz Seider's skate, but you got to take that. You got to take that, and you know what? When you're on, those are the bounces you get. And Chris Kreider definitely got the bounce. So good for Chris Kreider. It was awesome to see. I like the fact that he was just trying to do something there because you know what? Sometimes you need to do that. Just throw pucks at the net, try to make something happen. Sometimes you get lucky. In poker, if any of you all play Texas Hold'em at all, they tell you that sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. So, and I'll pull up a stat from Steven here as he posted it in the chat. Tied for the most after 68 games in a four-way tie with Adam Graves, Jean Rattel, and Jaromir Jagr. Yeah, that's some pretty elite company right there. So I thought Chris Kreider had a good game. And Mike was saying he was a beast all night driving play. Yeah, I thought he asserted himself. There's another player I want to talk about, though, that's going to do that. But we're going to talk about him in a little bit. I thought it was an absolute animal that showed flashes, some true brilliance of what he could be one day. But, yeah, number 46 in the season for Chris Kreider. Game time power play goal. He needed that, so power play cashes in again. Artemi Panarin dominates in Detroit. And what else is there to say about Artemi Panarin other than the fact that he just absolutely took over that game? It's one of the better games in a while. I'm with you on this, Matt. Copp and Panarin look really good together. This is going to make it a lot easier for them to get rid of Ryan Strome. Because if Andrew Copp is going to play like this and play great two-way hockey, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to tell Ryan Strome to piss off and go get his $6 whatever million he wants a year somewhere else. So, and we'll put up another staggering cap, Steve. Don't mind the alliteration, but Panarin with his 31st multi-point game on the road, which is tied for third most in the league since he's joined the Rangers in 2019. That's unreal. And I guarantee you the two guys that are in front of him are probably McDavid and Draisaitl. So he's in some pretty elite company. And I agree with this, Mike. Copp is going to look more and more like a keeper. It's going to be hard to with any of the quote-unquote rentals. I agree. I think all three of them should stay. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't keep them, other than cap constraints. So, and yes, I was right. Not that I was really going off the deep end or making any such sort of bold guess by guessing those two, but it figures. Yeah. Let's see here. Next one we want to go to, and Nemeth was good. Wait. All right. So I hope you're all recording this, aside from me recording it, because what? Insert Jackie Chan mind blown picture. Because yeah, Patrick Nemeth made the good section. This was easily his best game as a Ranger. Easily. He was really, really good in this game. I can't. How do you, Mike? I can't even say I disagree here. I gotta say I disagree. Actually, he wasn't only not bad and at times seemed serviceable. He was actually really good in this game. And you know me, I am not a fan of his, but he was really, really good in this game. So good. Good on Patrick. Yeah. Core is pretty excited over here. History has been made. So yes, Patrick Nemeth made the good. On the last game of March 29th, 2022, Patrick Nemeth made the good. More stats from Steven. The Rangers have scored a league-leading 18 goals at even strength since the trade deadline in the 5 games. Actually, no. Vetrano's had 7 games with the team. This was Vetrano's 8th game, so the games number is off, I believe, because the 22nd was. Hold on, yeah, the 21st was the trade deadline. Vetrano has 5 goals in 8 games as a Ranger, so it's 8 games actually. But yeah, 63 games prior to the deadline, they scored 118, which is 1.8 per 7, which ranked 23rd in the league. Ooh, yeah. So, but yeah, that's bad. In addition, they have a league low 7 power plays since the deadline, which is, yeah. I think that the officiating has been terrible for the Rangers. If you want to, I'm going to go tinfoil here. I'm going to tell you this right now. I definitely think that the Rangers are definitely getting it for either the letter or something else that was said earlier on this year about Pittsburgh. So, yeah, hopefully the Devil Rant fired them up, Chefra. Holy crap, man, because they needed these 2 wins the way that they did after getting killed by the Devils like that. So, oh, that's right. Good call, Steven. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Yep. I forgot about that. They got him before the deadline, so those numbers are since the deadline. You're right. Good call. And then I'm gonna go on from Nemeth, but I don't know if you guys were watching him as closely as I was in this game, but Alexis Lafreniere was brilliant in this game. He made a handful of moves that I was just like, wow, like this kid is just oozing with talent. And he skated a few times like he had a rocket strapped to his ass. And I love what I see from him. I just this was one of his better games, and yeah, he looked really really good. He was physical. Yes, Core, he definitely deserved a point. He was physical. He was engaged, and I think that I think if anything they were really really he was really on top of things. He wanted it. He wanted to be a difference maker. So yeah, Mike, the refs are bad. I want to talk about that in a little bit, but so they missed the trip on Fox. Tyler Mott. How did they not call Philip Roenick for what he did to Tyler Mott? How did they not call that the unnecessary shove after the breakaway? So, um, Grady, I'm gonna bookmark this one because I want to answer it afterwards. So, thank you for the question, Grady. First time I think I've seen you on here in the comment section. So, if you're a first time viewer, welcome to the show. If not, my apologies, but I definitely bookmark that. So, um, maybe it is more confidence than conditioning with Lafreniere. So, but yeah, Dan, get on that jersey. I'm thankful I still have the Lafreniere jersey from Rimouski. I'm very very thankful I got that when I did. Sorry about the adjustment moving around the stand here that my phone is on. So, but yeah, I just like I said, I thought his game was incredible. He deserved a couple of points. So, Davey, I will bookmark this. We'll talk about that later. So, um, but yeah, I'm gonna move on from Laf, and Andrew Copp is paying dividends. He's been so good. He needs to stop taking penalties because he took a penalty last game that led to a power play goal against the Crosby one. Um, he needs to stop taking the penalties. So otherwise, his play has just been everything this team has needed. So Michael Burgos, I'm gonna star that comment this one, and we'll get back to that later as well. Another staggering stat from Steven. Chris Kreider scored his 7th power play goal in the month of March. Wow. Yeah, kind of getting my words crossed there, which is the 8th most in NHL history for any team. Just goes to show you the caliber of season that Chris Kreider is having for this Rangers team. So, yeah, Mike, this actually kind of sums this game up for me. I thought that they would come out flat. They didn't. They started well, and they got the goal, and then Detroit pushed back. So the rest of that first is a little up and down. But they never really truly let up and let their foot off the pedal like they have. And that's what I wanted to see, especially after the Jersey game, because that was the 3rd time in the month that had happened. The St. Louis game, the Jersey game, and the Minnesota game, where they just completely let the foot off the pedal, and they had one really excruciatingly bad period of hockey, and that came back to bite them, and they lose the game for it. So kudos to them for improving on that. But yeah, so just wanted to address that one. No, I'm not as tired as I was last night. So, but sorry, just had to get that little yawn out there. To apologize. And so that was all of the good for me.
That's good.
And now we will go on to the bad. I have 2 bads and an ugly. First bad. The PK has to stop letting up goals. This is another game where the penalty kill has allowed a goal. They're dropping in the rankings. They're letting up goals, and they've got to do a better job. Got to do a better job. Andrew Copp's got to stay out of the box so he can help kill those penalties because he's a very good penalty killer. They have a lot of good penalty killing depth. Now, just remember, it's Copp and Mott and Gaudreau that are killing penalties. You're going to have Kevin Rooney when he comes back. You're going to have 4 very good penalty killers. 4. That's great depth. Then you have Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider that kill penalties. That's 6 good penalty killers. 6. That is penalty killing depth right there. So, I definitely want to talk about that, because that depth's going to improve when Kevin Rooney gets back. So yes, but they have to stop letting up goals. So, my other bad thing is Greg McKegg should not be playing over Johnny Brodzinski. Now, was McKegg terrible tonight? No. Was he good? Nah. I mean, that depends who you ask. I don't think he was good. I don't think he was bad. I think he was kind of just there. I mean, he helped that line, but really, Mott and Reeves are really doing a lot of the work on that line tonight. So I'm not going to trash McKegg, but he definitely took a stupid penalty that led to a goal. So, yeah. Salvatore Kakko is coming back. He's going to probably slot in. I would assume in the top 6 he should be. So, Davey, have a good night. But yeah, McKegg should not be playing over Brodzinski. And McKegg absolutely took a stupid penalty, and it cost them on the power play, because that was the Bertuzzi goal. That was the Bertuzzi goal. That shot was an absolute rip. I don't want to see anybody blaming Georgiev for that one. He was screened, and that shot was a rip. So Georgiev had no chance on that. I want to say that, and by the way, that's all for the bad.
Ooh, that's bad.
And we're going to go on to the one ugly thing. And you guessed it. Alexander Georgiev, everybody's favorite New York Ranger backup goaltender. Georgiev gave up 2 really bad goals. I'm not going to fault him for the 3rd or the 4th at all. The 4th was a broken play. And you know what? Honestly, he was screened on the 4th goal as well. I thought originally hit off of Sundqvist, but when I watched the replay for the second time, and they gave you that second angle, that final replay that they showed, shows that he just did not see it and went through his 5-hole. So I don't have no problem with the 3rd or the 4th goal, but the first 2 goals are absolutely on Alexander Georgiev, and they're absolutely terrible goals. Terrible. Not only were those 2 goals terrible, but he was fighting off shots all game. All game. He started to settle down a bit, but he was still fighting off shots that he shouldn't have been fighting off towards the end of that game. That's not good. And he just did not have it. Thankfully, he got the win, but I mean, I don't know how much confidence he's going to get from that. Hopefully, it goes some sort of way, because if he has to play any more games between now and the playoffs, you can't have him like this. You can't. He's gotta be good. He's got to be good at the least and give them a chance to win. And he didn't give them a real chance to win by letting up 2 just absolute dog shit goals. So, yeah. And you know what, Salvatore, I didn't see the presser because I got home from work and I just watched the game. But, I mean, if he's acknowledging this, good. But you gotta be better. And yes, we can definitely take a moment to appreciate this. They got 2 wins against Pittsburgh in regulation. So that's 8 points right there. That's 4 points for the Rangers to win. 4 points. And that's 4 points that they took away from Pittsburgh. That's an 8-point swing. That is huge. As Ilya Bryzgalov would say, that is humongous big And Pittsburgh, why you have to be mad? It's only game. So, yeah, Matt, this is actually a good point. If Georgiev can't gain confidence from that Carolina game where he was Hasek looking like, then yeah, I don't know how the hell he gains confidence. So, Michael Burgos, Frankie V, the Penguin Killer. I do agree with that. By the way, we're done with the good, bad, and ugly. I'm not going to harp on Georgiev. It's a bad game. He knows it. We all know it. It's not much else to say. So, but more Q&A time. So we got through that in about 20 minutes. But Steven's right. Let's appreciate the 8-point swing against Pittsburgh. So I will go through and answer some questions and do some comments here. Grady asks me, what do I think of the top line as it is? Kreider, Zibanejad, and Vetrano. And then Panarin, Strome, and Copp, and Loff, Copp, and Goodrow. I like that top 9 a lot, actually. I really do. I actually love that top 9. Because your fourth line then is Rooney, Mott, and one of Hunt or Reeves. And I'm more than okay with that. Or Brodzinski. And you've got good depth to rotate in there. So, yeah, I'm good with that, Grady. The reffing was worth thinking of. Yeah, just I don't know how many times I can continue to say how bad this reffing is. Like, you know what? The only thing I'm going to take from it is that you're not going to get a ton of calls in the playoffs. So if they're used to not getting a lot of these calls, you know, it actually kind of helps them out in a way. In a weird way, it does. So I'll try to look at it glass half full and not be the complete pessimist. Or a negative creep, as Nirvana would say. Had to drop that in there because rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. I know he wasn't in Nirvana, but Dave Grohl was in Nirvana, and he was the drummer for Nirvana. And Dave Grohl was the lead singer of the Foo Fighters, who I got to see one time in person, about 10 years ago around this time, actually. Bamboozled, May 2012. And I got to see them on a beach on a Saturday night when they were going to do Saturday Night Live afterwards. And it was awesome. And I thankfully got to hear Taylor Hawkins sing a song for Foo Fighters. So rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. But yes, the refereeing was so bad. Steven asks, really good question here. If I can keep one in addition to Copp, would I sign Mott or Vetrano? I think I've got to go Mott here because you eventually want Alexi Lafreniere to take that spot. You do. You want him to take that spot because he's not going to take the 2 top left wing spots anytime soon with the way that Chris Kreider and Artemi Panarin are playing. So I'm going to have to go with Mott here. Leo asks, given how Hedl has been playing, should he be on that third line? He has been playing third very well since he scratched. I like Hedl's game tonight, so I like it. Matt, wow, yeah, I love this question because I'm a huge Metallica fan. They're actually my favorite band. My favorite album is Master of Puppets, and I think it's the best heavy metal album ever. Bar none. I could listen to every single second of that album without skipping a second. And yes, that includes all of Orion and the noise at the beginning of Damage Inc. as well. So yes, give me Master of Puppets. Ride the Lightning is my number 2. I think that Fleming Rasmussen taking over on Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and then Justice for All. It was just really polished Metallica. Very, very good. So, let's see here. Good night, Stephen. Thank you for joining. I just saw your comment there. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with you here, Grady. I think Hedl can play in the top 9 role. So, and yeah, Matt, I totally agree. Orion is definitely Metallica's best instrumental. I actually no, you know what? I could toss that up between that and Call of Cthulhu, even though Call of Cthulhu was written by Mustaine. So, I will definitely give. I would definitely kind of agree though that it's definitely right there. So Leo goes third line of Laff, Hedel, and Copp, and the fourth line of Mott, Rooney, Gaudreau, and Reeves. That's some depth right there, man. And Greg McKegg should never play again once everybody's back in. Once Rooney and Kakko are back in, he should never see NHL ice again with the Rangers. So I'll go back to the bookmarked comments. Grady asks, "Do I think there should have been a goaltender interference right before the Wings' fourth goal from Adam Ernie?" Possibly. That's a close play. You could. I could see why they could call it. I could also see why they wouldn't. So we'll get rid of that comment on start. Davey asks, "Do I think we go to win one series? Do we win a series, basically?" It's more than possible. If they play the way that they've been playing lately at 5-on-5, yes. If they revert back to relying on the power play, no. So Michael Burgos asks if are Mott and Reeves locks for the fourth line going forward. Mott is. Reeves I would rotate in and out depending on the matchup and if there's big guys or physical enforcers on on a certain team, you have the option now to take him out of the lineup. That's what this team is needed. Because I think if you rest him a little bit too, I think you're going to give him a little more energy. Remember, he's on the other side of 30. Get back to the live comments here. Mike says, "We are getting hot at the right time. They just need to keep it going." You know what? If they start winning some more games, Mike, yeah, then I would agree. I think they're onto something. Let's see how these next few games go. Core says that, by the way, check out Core's work. If you guys don't already do so, Core has his own channel on here. Definitely check out his channel and watch his game reviews because his game reviews are pretty damn good too. So, Core says that he would go with Kreider, Mika, and Vetrano. Agreed. Panarin, Strome, and Kakko. Agreed. Laff, Hedel, and Copp. Agreed. And Rooney, Gaudreau, and Mott. Yeah, if that's what you can do, I totally agree with that. I totally agree. I would love to see that. Because I think Copp could drive that play on the third line. I think he could do wonders for a guy like Lafreniere. You have Lafreniere and Copp driving that play in the third line. I would switch Copp and Hedel, though. I think I would put Hedel on right wing and let Copp be the center because he's better on faceoffs and he's a better center defensively. You have Laff on the third line wing. That line could be a really, really good third line. And then Rooney centering Gaudreau and Mott could be a really good one. Or you could have Gaudreau center. I think that's great depth right there. I think that bottom six can give a lot of teams fits. And that's really what's going to be the difference in the playoffs is your depth and your ability to stifle other teams' lines while giving productive offensive shifts. That's really what it comes down to. Matt asks, when Strome comes back, do I think Gallant is putting him right back on the second line? Yeah, I think he is. I do think that it should be a tough decision for Gallant, but I think that Strome will eventually go back there. I also think that having Copp would really do wonders for the third line. So I just think that the way that Core had those lines before sounds really, really good to me because I too agree with those. And you're welcome, buddy. Anytime. By the way, on Core for the support. So yeah, anytime, buddy. Everest, gotta win the Islander game. Must win mentally, especially after what the Fish Sticks did to them last year. And he goes on to mention knocking them out of the playoff race. Yes, totally agree with this, Everest. Gotta win that game. You got to get them for the last game. That was BS on St. Patty's Day. So let's get them. I think Strome and Copp will be on the second line together for now until Cat goes back because, to hell with Hunt. Yeah, could I see that happening? Sure. But I think you would be doing the team a disservice by putting Strome, Copp, and Panarin together as a second line. I think you could spread the wealth by having Strome, Panarin, and Kakko together. But I really love what Panarin and Copp are doing together these last couple of games. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, Chris G. Copp, what a player. Welcome back, Chris. Mackenzie, I agree with this. The bottom six is absolutely legit right now. This is what the team has needed. We've been saying for months. Since the start of the season, I've been saying we needed bottom six depth. Now look at what we have. Chris passing, yeah. Dan brings up a great point here. Dan Schetti says sometimes Hunt looks lost. I agree. I think Dryden Hunt is in over his head as a top six player. I think he might even be in over his head as a top 9 player. If he's a fourth liner that you could rotate in and out, okay, fine, no problem. But anything more than that, I just don't think Dryden Hunt has the ability to process the game at the level necessary to facilitate play on the top 3 lines. So, Course says it's the tinted visor for Andrew Copp. Yeah, I think you're channeling your inner Ovechkin there. Michael Burgos says, with what Strome is going to ask for, I'd rather sign Copp, provide more versatility, and actually put the puck in the net. I'm with you here, Michael. I'm with you. Panarin, Chris T says Panarin is in 11th in the league in points. Gotta love to see that. Core says that not even the Coyotes wanted Hunt. And that's funny. Mike goes on and makes a nice little pun here of a nickname for RoboCop, play on words. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally like this. The Yankees did Brett the Hitman Gardner at Yankee Stadium with Bret Hart, obviously the wrestler. So we could do RoboCop with Andrew Copp. I think that'd be awesome. So, Mike, you'll get dibs on that one. Matt says, really love Laugh's forechecking ability. It's improved. Yes. And here's another thing. This stat was brought up tonight. It was actually brought up elsewhere on Twitter. I've seen it. A few different people have posted this, but Alexei Lafreniere leads the Rangers in even strength goals these last 2 seasons. And the number 2 player in that category is Chris Kreider. Yes. Mackenzie, I just don't see how we sign all these guys in the summer. The solution is probably to sign Copp to be the 2C, let Strome go, and then make other depth signings accordingly. So, and then you got to move Nemeth and Georgiev. So, I don't think Kakko's going to get much of a raise. Sammy Blais, I would love to see Sammy Blais come back to the team, but I don't think he's going to get much, especially after a big injury like that. Chris, could I see Copp and Strome on the second line? Sure, but I think that you're doing a disservice by doing that. And Hunt, yeah, I wouldn't re-sign Hunt. I wouldn't. Gaudreau will play fourth line in favor of Reeves. Yeah, like I just said before, Reeves should be a guy that you can rotate in and out, kind of like a matchup type thing. Like, if you're playing a bigger, heavier, more physical team, okay, put Reeves in, especially if there's an enforcer on that team or a guy that'll drop it. If you're playing a faster, skilled, more speed-oriented team, then play your other guys. Play your Gaudreaus, your Rooneys, your Motts, your Hunts at that point. So. Hey John, what's going on? Michael Burgos says, gotta give credit where credit is due. Ever since my rant, the team has been playing well. Thank you. I don't know if my rant really has anything to do with it, but I think that when you have two different games in a season, or two different games in a span of 2 weeks, where the coach can come out and say that they should be embarrassed of themselves, I think that you gotta take a look at that, so, and say to yourself, hey, you know what? Time to wake the hell up. You know. So, um, uh, I think that I thought Adam Fox and Ryan Lindgren were decent tonight. I thought they were better than they've been recently. Sorry, just kind of plugging my charger because my phone is starting to get low in battery. So yeah, just doing this over here. Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna be kind of messing with things here. B for coach. Yeah. I don't know if I could ever be coach, Leo. I don't. I'm balding as it is. I'd probably have all my hair fall out if I was coach. So I might as well just shave the whole damn thing off. But I motivate. That's what I do. I try to motivate. So hold on. I just got to see something. Sorry, doing a little thing. Okay. All right. So it is charging. Okay. Sorry about that. So going back, adjusting. Yeah, I know, John. I know. My golf clap to you, buddy, for the Andrew Copp manifestation. You've been calling for it for months, so you got it. Just like Sean called for Reeves. Yeah, I know Hunt has another year. Christine, of course, yeah, but you don't have to play him in a lineup. You could easily waive him, and I don't think it would be that big of a loss. So, Leo it needs to use my time machine. Oh, John Lee's time machine. So yeah. Mackenzie says Mika Kreider, Mika Vetrano. Yeah, that line's pretty good. It should stay together. So yeah, you can't lose those games. If you beat the Devils and you don't fall to complete crap against St. Louis, I'm not saying you're going to win every game, but the New Jersey game was absolutely a winnable game. So I don't know if it's an L because I can't say that the Braun trade was an L just because of the fact that they played him for one game and now they're playing Nemeth over him. I don't agree. I really don't think we got good enough of a look at Braun to say that trade's an L. And I don't know if that's on Gallant. I'd imagine that has to be on Gallant. If Gallant is sitting there and saying that he doesn't want to play Braun because Drury just brought him in. I'd imagine that the front office would want them to play Braun. So this has got to be a Gallant decision. Mike says, this is actually a great point from Mike here. Mike says that it's amazing during Foxy's downstretch. He's still putting up points. Yes, but we need that defense to be better. Mark says maybe Georgiev could stop a beach ball and Barona's insurance. Yes, he is. He is insurance. So, Core says, I don't see him playing another game unless an injury happens. Maybe, but it's still insurance. Tomas, yes, Braun can play left defense. Frank Saravalli even said so on his daily faceoff trade deadline day when the Rangers made that trade. So, yes, I just don't think Patrick Nemeth should be playing. I'm sorry. I really don't. I love the Nemeth's game tonight, but one game isn't going to change the fact that Justin Braun's a better defenseman and a far better one at that. So Nemeth probably just had a better practice than Braun. Yes, we know how Gallant loves his practices. Jeez. So Leo says, I don't get how Georgiev looking like the next coming of Georges Vezina himself looking like he was picked at random from the seats. It's a good point, Leo. And it's just what he is. When he doesn't get the starts, he's just very inconsistent, very shaky. So, Chris G says, well, Namath got an assist on the Heatles goal, so now he's stapled into the lineup. Har. All I can do is be depressed over that. Georgiev played for a trade, which means he wanted out, which means he's, I'm not going to say that last word because apparently I said some bad words and some things happened. So, yes, no, Georgiev, he was playing to get out. So, he's gone after this season. He's absolutely gone. They'll trade his rights. They'll get what they can get for him. Third, maybe hopefully a second, but who knows. John Lee says Heedle has played better. I do agree with this. Sorry, but I thought last game against Pittsburgh, I didn't see much from Heedle there, but I thought tonight was good, and the other games he was pretty good. So. Leo says he has dibs on the term Georgiev goal, and we had so many of those tonight. First goal, the odds of the first goal going was 1.2. Yeah, that was a bad goal. Salvatore asks about Schneider's playing. Then he says that he thinks he's looking good. I totally agree with you, Sal. Totally agree. Schneider has had two really, really good games in a row. It seems like ever since he was scratched for that one game, he's come back with a vengeance, and I like that. That's a good attitude to have. Tomas says that might be a weird consideration, but if Strome is healthy when Capo comes back, can we see the kid line back together? Possibly, but I think the third line would be strong. I think the lines would be better served by having Copp on the third line. And yes, I know it sucks to put Copp on the third line with how well he's playing. And you know what? Maybe it does happen, but I just think that if you put Copp with Laff and Heedle, I think that would be a really good third line. You got to have depth. So, yeah, Chris, that's what Tomas means, is that Heedle, Laff, and Kakko, the line from last year. So. Everett says, bring up Kincaid. Georgiev is a bum. I mean, I can't disagree here. Mike says, Trouba has been a force since the trade deadline. I don't want to say since the trade deadline, but he's been pretty good these last couple of games. I don't think he was as good tonight as he was last night. I think last night might have been his best game in a long time. Probably his best game all year. But he was still pretty good tonight. Michael Burgos says, last day of March, hopefully Mika March can make an appearance in April. Yes, please. I am all for this, Michael. Please manifest this somehow. Leo says, I feel Trouba needs another fight. Seems to wake him up. He's played well offensively, but his positioning in the zone has been... Yeah, I would agree, Leo. I think when he starts throwing those big hits and gets into the fights, that's when he gets engaged. His focus seems to be better. So I'm with you on this, actually. It's a really good comment, Leo. Core says, the kid line they wouldn't want in the playoffs. No way that happens. That's why I think that they should have Copp on the third line. Everest says, send Georgiev to the ECHL for a bag of pucks. You really don't have to send anything back to send Georgiev down to the ECHL, but I don't think they're going to do that now. So I hate to disappoint you, Everest. Bailey says, I agree, bring up Kincaid, but I do respect Georgiev for not making any excuses in the pressers. You know what? I do agree with that last part. I have to give it that. And John brings up a great comment here, great point. For playing below standards, Panarin has 80 points. And he's on pace for 104 over an 82-game season. I think he's on pace for just about 100 right now with the games that he's missed. So if he gets hot, he could still hit 100 points. Dan Giacchetti says, how long will it take for Capo to get back into the second line? Team has changed since he was out. I would put him back there. I would. That's just me. I just think the lines would be better off. Chris G says Georgiev will be better off in a KHL and a Finnish team like Jokerit. He was in Liga, so yeah, I mean KHL probably could be good for Georgiev. I don't know if he's going to start in the NHL. I don't know. Maybe a bad team has him as a starter, but I just don't see him as a legitimate, bona fide starter. So, yeah, and Jokerit is no longer in the KHL, as Dave points out. So, yeah, and Tomas points that out as well. So, and what's up, Dave, by the way? Yes. So, yes, ex-KHL team, Jokerit left. Jokerit Helsinki, no longer in the KHL. So, yeah. Yeah. No, don't want to get into the politics of things, but yeah. So, I'm at 46 minutes, so I will go until 120. And yes, like Mark says, like, share, and subscribe, everybody. We all at Big Apple Hockey here would greatly appreciate it if you all do. So please do. Just remember, like, share, and subscribe. Your friendly neighborhood Filkowski. Kind of like Spider-Man, but not really a Spider-Man because I don't have mutant powers of any sort. But I do like Spider-Man. Very much of a Tom Holland fan. Yes, you are the second person to give me props on this, Dave. So yes, Ride the Lightning. My second favorite Metallica album. My first, as I said, more for Matt's question, is Master of Puppets. I will go Ranger Man. I like this one, Dan. I like that. Ranger Man. Yes, friendly neighborhood Ranger Man. Yes. There we go. Like it. Leo asks, what attributes would I look for a backup in the season? I want somebody with some experience. I want someone who is okay being a backup first and foremost. That's got to be priority number one because we can't have another situation of a sulking backup goaltender. I want somebody who's good. I want somebody who's experienced. And I want someone who's not going to cost an arm and a leg against the cap. So, Yara Halak could be a good fit, but also depends on the price against the cap. Chris G, I have not seen the Batman movie yet. I got to go see it. So, Bailey, Nemeth wasn't as terrible tonight. I actually said Nemeth was really good tonight because he was. So, I am not a fan of Nemeth either, Bailey, but Nemeth was actually really good tonight. So, Chris G says that he liked the Batman movie up until the last half hour. I'm guessing you saw it in MSG? Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, that's pretty cool then, I guess. Glad to see Breadman finally play with some skilled players. His playmaking ability is awesome. Yes, Michael Burgos. Totally agree with this. Totally, I'm agreeing with a lot of the things you're saying tonight. So you're either in my head or we got some ESP going here, man. Leo says, anyone depressed? Anyone notice that Georgiev looks depressed every time Sturkin wins? Yes. And you bring up a great point that he never looked like that on Lundqvist. Probably because of the fact that he knew that he wasn't getting the crown from Lundqvist. So, no, the arena was MSG. Oh, okay. Keith Kincaid? No, I want somebody better than Kincaid. Sorry. I'll see when I see it. Okay. Yeah, no spoilers. So, Mike, the new Spider-Man was so meh. I don't know you anymore, man. That movie was the best Marvel movie I've ever seen. That was a friggin' awesome movie. So, yeah, no. And Thor Ragnarok was a tough one to unseat for me because I'd held Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War to such a high standard. But when I saw No Way Home was amazing. Yes, thank you, Mark. Anyone, the only person I'd ever come across that said that No Way Home was anything more than meh was Mike. That's it. So, Winter Soldier was very good. That's definitely a top 10 Marvel movie for me. Maybe even top 5. But so you know what? I'd have to put Civil War ahead of Winter Soldier. I loved Civil War. I thought that was really good. So, but Thor Ragnarok, No Way Home, and Infinity War are my top 3 Marvel movies so far. And I can't wait to see Multiverse of Madness. So, yeah, No Way Home. Yeah, definitely hit the heartstrings there. So. All right. The Spider-Man 2 is the best comic non-event movie. So okay, I could live with. You know what? The Tobey Maguire ones were decent. I liked them. Core asks if this is actually a really good question, and I like this, because it really makes you think. If I had to choose one to be a Ranger forever, and they have to be in the everyday lineup, and they make the same cap hit, who would I pick? McKegg, Nemeth, or Hunt? I would probably have to pick Hunt because I could just throw Hunt in the 4th line and he could just be the 12th forward and be okay with that. Greg McKegg doesn't belong in anything higher than the AHL, and Patrick Nemeth is not an NHL level defender. He had a great game tonight, but I'm not convinced that he belongs in the NHL. So, um, Leo says here, wish we would have a Swayman Allmark relationship between the future goalies. Yeah, a good relationship between the two goalies to have is pretty good. You know, that's an important dynamic. Um, Bailey Rogers says that Keller injury was brutal. I didn't see that, Bailey. Sorry. Sal, how far do you think the Rangers are going to go this year? Igor gets hot in the playoffs. They can win a couple of rounds if Igor gets really hot and they play well defensively. So they have the depth now. Now let's just see how the defense holds up and the team defense holds up in front of Igor. Worst Marvel movie? Captain Marvel really wasn't that good. I'm with Mark on this. I'm not a huge Brie Larson fan either. I just think she's annoying. I'll say that. So, Leo says never go see a Spider-Man movie. Should I go see them? Yes, 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 and yes. Did I mention yes? Yes. Oh yeah. Um, Chris G says we're going to make it to the conference finals and lose to the Panthers. Ooh, okay, that's interesting, Chris G. I don't. Yeah, I like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I thought Andrew Garfield. I didn't think he was the best one, and I have a friend that loves Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. She will always disagree with me on him, but I definitely think that yeah, Andrew Garfield actually was decent, but yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I said, Mark. Hunt, but default. And John agrees, says Hunt. Core says, sorry, no Justin Huberdeau for you to pick, Mark. Oh, so stretchered off, looked like a broken leg. That's not good. Oof, man. Brie Larson, the porn star? No, Brie Larson, the actress. What are you talking about? Porn star? I don't know who. Brie Larson is an actress that plays Captain Marvel. She also played Scott Pilgrim's ex-girlfriend in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She was the singer chick. So, I watched 15 minutes of the Eternals and turned it off. I heard the Eternals was bad. So, Brian Dubby. Brian, I'm always going to say Slapshot. Because Slapshot is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie. I could go on and on quoting lines in that movie. Don't get me started. We'll be here all night. How would I rate Gallant's job performance so far from Everest? I think he's done a decent job. I question some of his personal lineup decisions, but I think he's done a pretty good job. John Lee says Miracle for best hockey movie. Dave brings up Miracle. Goon is not in my top three. Mystery Alaska is definitely in my top three. Slapshot, Miracle. Yeah, the Slapshot, Mystery Alaska, and Miracle probably my top three. Youngblood is in my top five. As Brian asks, no love for Youngblood? Yes. Amazing Series was forcing a cinematic universe and overstuff. Not Garfield Stone's fault, not Mark Webb's either. Yeah, you know what? I like those movies, but yeah, it felt like they were trying to put too much together in those. Sean, of course, says Sean Avery is probably cheering over Clayton Keller's injury. I don't know about that. When he cheered Clayton Keller, yeah, I don't think about that. Michael Burgos excited for Mania this weekend? No, I am not. I'm probably not even going to watch WrestleMania because I'm so disenchanted with WWE. Their product is terrible now. They killed off the one thing that I loved in NXT when they did the reboot. Nope. I love Youngblood too, as does Mark and my buddy Dave here. 100% for Youngblood. Yep. Dean Youngblood. Yep. If you guys didn't know this, here's a little tidbit about Youngblood. You know, in the beginning when he's doing the tricks with the puck, kicking it to his skate and everything like that? You know who's actually doing that? You're going to be blown away by this, but it's Steve Thomas. Steve Thomas does the hockey choreography when he's doing the tricks with the skates and kicking it to his stick and everything, kicking it from his skate to his stick and stuff like that. Steve Thomas. Peter Zezel, I was told it was Steve Thomas. I'm going to have to look that up, but I was told it was Steve Thomas. We'll reconvene. But I was told it was Steve Thomas, and that makes sense because I've seen Steve Thomas do some crazy stuff. Yeah, Happy Gilmore. You know, some people think it's a hockey movie. It's not really a hockey movie. It's a golf movie. So, yeah. Chris G, I'm pretty sure he, like I said, he did the choreography for Youngblood for the hockey choreography part. But I don't think he was in I don't think he was acting in any movie. But so I believe it was Steve Thomas who did the hockey choreography for the tricks and stuff. But I am going to call it for tonight. It's 20 after 1 in the morning. I'm starting to get a little tired. I do have to wake up probably around 9:30 to do all my stuff before work. One last question. Best chirp I've ever heard, because I love this question. The best chirp I ever heard was when Patrick Kane told Pat Maroon, don't you have to go home to go win some roller hockey championships? That was probably the best chirp I've ever heard. And yeah. I got to give Patrick Kane credit for that. But yeah, thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. You guys are up with me at 1:20 in the morning. We even had Steven on for a bit, and it's over. He's a crazy time over where he is. So thank you all for joining. They do again Friday. Friday will probably be a lot easier for a lot of us. So, Brassard's Take a Seat to Chris Letang was really good too. So, but yes, good night, everybody. I appreciate you all joining me. Be on the lookout. Just remember, like, share, and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. And as always, let's go Rangers.